Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 251 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekly edition, and in this edition, I'm going to talk about a topic that I know precious little about. So if you want to hear what I didn't know and how I came to learn about it, all you have to do is stay tuned. Well, that's a pretty sketchy introduction to a video, but I tell you, my expertise does not lie in anything electrical. I loathe electronics. I have no interest in it, and I could probably do it if I put my mind to it, but I choose not to. But I had to for what was happening in my shop with my dust collector. So let me run this by you. So I have a plug-in remote like this, and the remote is here. And I used to have this on a cord, and I'd hang it around my neck, and I could turn my dust collector on and off with that. I don't want my collection system to be set up like the schools was for multiple users where the collection ran all the time. So you had to turn it on to run any machine, and once it was on, you just left it on for the class. So that isn't the way I'm running things. My collector is going on and off. But I I bought my collector used, and I didn't really pay much attention to the electronics when we took everything apart. And I'm not sure, it was quite a few years ago. I don't remember the exact discussion with the owner at that time about his wiring and stuff like that. But when I got it home, I realized I had no way to make that remote, like there wasn't a remote system for it. So I looked at Clearview's website, and I contacted them, and basically what they said is like any remote plug-in type thing would work and do what I wanted. So knowing that, I went to the orange store and I picked up this one, and I went home and plugged it in, and I had a remote for my dust collector. I thought that was one area that was dealt with, and I wouldn't have to think about it again. But many months after I had this all set up and running, we had a power outage at night. And the power went off, and didn't really think anything of it. It wasn't in winter. And beside, we have a generator that powers this whole yard if the power goes out for any length of time. So, and my house and shop are so well insulated that even in the dead of winter, it takes a while for this place to cool off. So I wasn't concerned. So got up the next morning. It was a Saturday, and I was kind of lazy, and I only got out to the shop, I think, about 10 o'clock. And as I'm walking up to the door, I'm thinking, what is that noise in there? Well, I unlocked the door, and sure enough, my dust collector's running. And it had run basically since the power went back on, which I think was about 3 or 4 in the morning. So that thing had ran, what, 7 hours or so, with nobody in here. And that kind of concerned me. So I switched everything off, and then I started looking into why it had come back, why it had gone on when the power came back on. So that started a long search. And now that I think about that search and I understand what I'm actually looking for, it really isn't that complicated. So I thought I'd shoot a video and explain it in my pseudo-electrical terms here, and explain why it went on and what I've done to change that. So that's what this video is going to be about. And it basically is just, when you're buying one of these things, know what to look for. And I'm going to show you what I have now, and we're going to head over to that side of the shop and show you what we got. All right, well, here we are. This is kind of the control panel or brains of my dust collector. Main power comes from here, It comes into this box, and excuse me if I don't get all these terms exactly right, but there's a contactor in here that basically opens and closes and runs power to here, which is plugged in. And we've got this is a clear view, so it's got a 5-horse electric motor. So what I want to do though is I want to be able to interrupt that circuit or turn it on and off remotely. So then what I needed to do, and I'm going to show you the old one first, a thing like this. And these are simply, for out on your yard for Christmas lights or whatever. You can either set a timer. This one had a timer, and I just used the on off. And then it's got plugins to the bottom here. Can you see that? Where you plug in what you want to plug in, and you plug that into power, and then the remote, that gives you remote control of that circuit. Again, if I'm getting the theory and the electrical wrong, I apologize, but listen to the message, okay? So this is the old one. The new one is a little smaller, but it's right here. So what this does is with this remote, I can, oh, there's one other key here. I just about forgot. There's an on-off switch for the contactor. And in order for all this to work, this has to be up or in the on position. I don't know if you can see that very well from there. Sort of. Okay, that switch has to be on. So then I can press the on button here. And the dust collection goes on and off. If I do this, I've got nothing. Okay, so the contactor. Okay, I don't think that should have come on, but we'll find out if that was a problem or not. When I tested this originally, everything worked the way it should. But when a power outage occurs and things go back on, that's when the problems arose. So this is now switched on. Okay, this is all ready to go. I can press the on button or start button here, and away we go. So I'm going to simulate a power outage. Okay, I don't think I'm going to turn the camera for you to see it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the camera running here. I'm going to go to my electrical panel, and I'm just going to hit the main breaker. It'll go dark in here, so you'll see it. Okay, we're going to do that right away. There we go. Yeah, it's dark in here. The power's off. Now, nothing happens when the power's off. This isn't the problem. But what I'm going to do, and you're going to be able to see me turn the power on again when the lights come back on. If this thing is doing what it's supposed to do, the dust collector should not start again. If it does, then I guess I'm on Amazon looking for another one of those things. Okay, let's go turn the power back on, see what happens. All right, the power's on. Dust collector didn't start. That's what you want. So we're going to do that again, only I'm going to plug in my old one and show you why I changed. So this should work just like it worked for me for years. I should be able to do this. Dust collector turns on. Dust collector turns off. Okay, now it's off. The contactor switch is in the on position. Let's see how this handles a power outage. Okay, we're going to do this again. You'll see the lights go off, and then you'll see them go back on again. And I won't come back in between. There we go. Lights are off, and back on they go. See, that was the problem I was having. So, yeah, so what's the difference between these two things? They pretty much work identically. There's there's one critical difference. And when I was shopping for these things, the one I have mounted on the wall right now, I think is the third one I ordered. Oops, I'm going to unplug this and get this right again while we're on camera here so I don't forget later. Where are we? Okay, I'll do it later. So, what's the difference? Well, the difference is this one, when power is interrupted, it stays in the on position. This one, when power is interrupted, it defaults to the off position. And that information is not as easy to find as you think it should be. So like I said, I think this is at least the second or third one of these that I ordered or bought and didn't work. So finally, I found one that did, but it took reading the product description really carefully. I ordered this on Amazon, and basically, it said, and I had to read down through 2 or 3 blocks. It was like in the third or fourth paragraph of explanation that when power is interrupted, it needs a manual reset. That's another phrase to look for, something that requires manual reset. Now I have an illustration because I just fought through this problem last week. I had another case of this because I like to have um, all my little student lathes with a power interrupter so that if the power would go off in a turning class, they come back on, nobody gets their gear stuck in it because the lathe turned back on unexpectedly. So again, I bought a couple of things. I thought Lee Valley sold one because I bought 2 or 3 there years ago, but now these were different. And I ended up ordering. And the explanation on that order form was about the best that I've seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through that. So I'm going to show you a picture of my latest order where I bought little plugs that plug in and act as a circuit interrupter when the power goes off so that the lathe won't restart again. So I'm going to show you those. But this is, so if you're setting up your dust collection, make sure you look for this, that the words you should be looking for are either defaults to the off position, power interruption goes to the off position, manual reset. If you see any of those, although I saw a few of the first two and they still didn't work. So I think the manual reset clause is probably the best when you're looking for this. And if you ask somebody in a store, they won't know because most people don't use these things for something like this. So, okay, with that note, I'm going to show you what I bought for my other lathes and I'm going to bring you back. Well, before I move on to the units that I bought for my little lathes, I thought I'd show you the Amazon page where I purchased my dust collector. Uh, Basically, it's a remote control outlet. So, yeah, there's a description here, and it tells you all about it. And you had some options here, but the options were basically just the number of plugins that each unit had. So that really wasn't helpful. With this one, I believe the only place that I found where it said that it reset to the off position was in the comments or the reviews of this thing. So, and I went through it again before the video, and I didn't. Um, I didn't read very carefully word for word, but with a quick skim, I did not see that um, statement in any of the area of the published paragraphs that they have describing the item. So at times you really have to look to find those words that you're looking for. So yeah, this one worked. I was fortunate. It seems to work very well. We're just going to now see how long it lasts, and hopefully it'll last a long time. And now I know how to replace it at least when I need to. So let's go on and show you the ones that I bought for my little lathes. Now this is a little bit of an odd way to shoot this video, but if I do it this way, then I don't have to do a voiceover, so it saves me a little bit of time. So yeah, odd it is, but in the end, I think it'll work. So let's move on to the, um, basically they're a simulated kind of mag start for my little lathes here, but I bought these, and these are the ones that my lathe is going to my lathes are going to run with. So here it is. Here is that that exact piece. So yeah, and this one it says here. In fact, you can order it. Manual reset. And on my phone, this all looks a little bit different. Style, manual reset. So I wonder if this one, yeah, see that one says automatic reset. And this was really nice. And these work. I've tested them and they're going to go in my lathe. So now I have a good, reliable, I hope, interrupter that keeps my lathe safe. Anyway, those are the two that I've been looking at, and both of them do what I want them to do. In other words, they won't allow the motor to restart unless it's manually switched again. And that's what you want, whether it's for your dust collector or for safety switches on your lathes. So, or whatever, if you're running small equipment, you won't find a mag start on any smaller horsepower electric motor. So these devices can take that place. So if you were working with kids and you had a little drill press or whatever the tool would be, if it was a small motor that isn't protected this way, if you work with people, I'd recommend doing this because this is important. So now I have one of these for all my student lathes. All right. Well, I hope that little video helped somebody out there, because I know it sure would have helped me if I could have found it when I needed it. I just didn't understand that, because again, my basis of electronics or my knowledge of electronics isn't vast. So this was something that I had to be shown and told. But now that I have been shown and told it, I do somewhat understand it. So one other thing I should point out that, okay, these things are often sold as GFCI adapters as well. Like the ground fault is what you're buying it for. Let's say you're running equipment outside, corded power tools outside, you'd probably want them plugged into a GFCI plug-in. But an added bonus to these things is the circuit interrupter part as well. So again, I'm probably not explaining it the best. However, if you want your little lathe plugged into a circuit that when the power goes off, it has to be manually restarted, that it won't just come back on automatically, this is the switch for you. This works. Now you saw the price here. They're a little bit more money than my remote thing, but 20, what did I pay? 28.12. Really not a bad price. I paid for the Lee Valley cord type I believe I paid about $70. And that was 10 years ago at least. Um, the one that I bought from two that I bought from Great Western Saw were, I think, about 38 or $40, somewhere in there. But that was about 4 years ago too. So anyway, they didn't have them. I tried the Lee Valley ones. They didn't work because there's two models of that thing, and they just have the cheaper one. Theirs is just straight GFCI, I believe. But because I like buying things from Lee Valley, and if I can buy it there, I tend to do that. But I ended up going to Amazon for these. Not my first choice, but they work, and I didn't have to run around Saskatoon looking for them. So that was good. So yeah, to kind of close this off, if you have a dust collector and you want to run it remotely, you need to have a remote plug-in like I have there that shuts off, or when the power is interrupted, that it defaults to the off position. Or the other words you're looking for, sorry, are manual restart, defaults to the off position, things like that. You have to read for it, though. It won't be stated clearly on this one. This one actually is. I tell a little bit of a fib there. On this adapter here, it says the manual restart one is, you click that one if you want to buy that one, and there's an automatic reset as well. But you just have to choose. But it's set up so well on the website, it makes it easy to get the right one. So I think now, as far as electrical stuff goes, for my dust collection, we're back in business. I still have some piping to run, and I didn't get as far as I'd hoped to. And that's that. Yeah, I never get as far as I would like to, but we're going to keep working on it. And the lathes, I need to figure out a way to get them back and forth to my shop because obviously my other system didn't work. Um, so yeah, basically, when you're buying things like this, it can be a real problem to find the right one initially. So make sure that you can take them back if they don't work. But test them quickly and take them back quickly. Don't keep them a year and test them and it doesn't work. So with that in mind, like I said, we had a. I was telling you last week that this weekend edition would probably be late, and as it turns out, things worked out quite different than we had expected. My wife had some back surgery, some reconstruction, and they were saying in the hospital anywhere up to 5 days, and she did so well, she was out after 2. So that's good. That allowed me to be home here and make the weekly edition, which I know there are a few of you that maybe look forward to. At least if you don't look forward to it, you watch it. And yeah, I joke a little bit about people watching my videos, but I don't know, if you can't joke about yourself, if you take yourself so seriously all the time, it's just not a good way to live your life. So anyway, my wife is home and recovering really well. We're out of the hospital. Oh, I tell you, if you want to get sick, just go to the hospital. I hate hospitals. And we're out of there now, so that's good. And the weather's clearing. We've had some rain, so I'm hoping to get back onto the yard in the remainder of this week. So I'm not sure what the weekend edition will look like yet. I have a few supplies coming for future turning projects and things like that. Something that I've never seen before. We're going to turn 1 or 2 of them. I shouldn't say I haven't seen it before. It's a twist on something that's commonly done. So anyway, with that in mind, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we're getting to, I think we're at about 810 subscribers. So, you can start to see the 1,000 from here. And that's not all of it. The watch time hours need to happen yet too. But you know what? One thing at a time. First of all, we'll get the subscribers right, and then we'll worry about the rest. Anyway, Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we will see you towards the weekend with the Weekend Edition.